Hey, this is Walter Jones.
This is Austin St. John.
And you're listening to
Ranger Danger.
Go, go, Ranger Danger! Go, go, Ranger Danger! Go, go, Ranger Danger! Matt and Michael's Ranger Danger!
Alright, welcome to Mighty Morphin Ranger Danger, the podcast where we watch an episode of the television series Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and then after that, we bake tasty soufflés.
Do we?
We don't do that?
I've never done that before.
That's my other podcast.
Oh, Souffle Danger.
That's right.
Okay.
Michael, welcome into my ears via Skype.
Yeah, it's messed up, isn't it?
It is. It's definitely unnatural. It's going to take me a while to get used to it. Now, shall we tell our faithful listeners why we are talking to each other via Skype?
Because we are sick of seeing each other's faces.
That's right. I decided that Michael's hair was getting unruly and was no longer fit for my eyes.
I mean, you know, it's not untrue.
No, what we are doing is testing recording using Skype, so when Power Rangers Dino Charge starts,
Which, by the time you hear this, will be very soon.
That's right. We can record those episodes as soon as possible to get them in your ears as soon as we can.
Yeah, because we don't want you to have to wait. That's how much we care about you guys.
That's right. So this is all very sort of prototypey for us. We don't know quite what we're doing, but I'm sure that any audio problems you experience will be outweighed by the incredible audio experience of listening to Guitardo, who is the monster of this week, I'm assuming, because the episode is called...
I mean, you've got to assume so.
That's right. The song is called Song of Guitardo, and it is episode 71 of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Yes, it is.
Now, we have a website, Michael.
We do.
Yeah, you can go there if you want to, like you personally. Others can as well, at the address www.rangerdangerpodcast.com. You can send us an interweb mail at rangerdangerpodcast@gmail.com. If you want to send us a delicious Twitter tweet, we're at RangerDcast. We're also on Facebook and iTunes and YouTube and Stitcher. And don't forget Google+.
You can forget Google+, that'd be okay.
Okay. All right, so do we have anything to talk about this week, Michael?
I don't believe we do, other than you just got very faint just then.
Did I? Oh, that's odd.
Yes.
Can you still hear me?
I can hear you now. That's fine.
All right, cool. See? Audio glitches. Yay.
Yay, Skype. All right, no, I don't think we've got anything to talk about this week, unless you had anything to talk about.
Not particularly.
All right, well, we might just get straight to it.
Yeah, and don't forget, listeners, we haven't told you in a while, but you are absolutely welcome to go and watch the episode before you listen to the next part, so you can know a bit more about what we're talking about, if you'd like.
Yeah, that might be fun.
Or
you might enjoy it.
Yeah, or you can not do that. You know, we don't tell you what to do. Live your life your way. That's our motto.
But keep listening to the podcast.
Yeah, that's
and buy something from our shop.
That's right.
But other than that, do whatever you want.
Yep, we're all about freedom.
Yep, freedom and buying things from our shop.
Freedom and capitalism.
RangerDangerPodcast.com/shop. I'm going to stop saying shop now.
Okay, but do some shopping.
Yeah, you don't have to, but there's some great stuff there. By the time you hear this, I'm hoping that we'll have shower curtains available.
Was that a request that was made?
No, it's an option, so I'm going to see what we can do.
Okay, all right.
Who wouldn't want a cool Power Ranger shower curtain, Matt?
I think what we need to do is get a photo of you that people can put on their shower curtains, preferably facing inwards, so that whenever they're showering, they can have you watching over them.
I cannot imagine a world in which a single human being wants that.
Well, we could only put it up and see what happens, Michael.
I mean, that's certainly technically true.
That's right. I'm a visionary.
Let's watch the Song of Guitardo.
Yep.
And nothing else to say, really.
All right, let's do it. We'll see you soon.
All right, bye, guys.
All right, Michael, we just watched Song of Guitardo.
We sure did.
I found it surprisingly moving.
I'm surprised that you were moved.
All right, well, we'll discuss that particular moment once we get to the end of the episode.
Yeah.
Shall we describe it from the top?
Yeah, let's do that.
All right, so where do we start?
Kimberly is playing guitar in the youth centre.
She certainly is. Pretty well, I might add. She has quite a nice voice.
Yep. She's, like, actually playing guitar, too. She's not, like, having a professional guitar player dub over it, which is nice.
Or be her hands behind her back.
Yep.
So Amy Jo Johnson is actually a musician. So I'm glad that she got a chance to sort of bring those talents to the show.
Yeah, I'm frankly surprised it took them 70 episodes.
Yeah, I mean, they probably just didn't know.
That's certainly possible.
I suspect.
Or they didn't have a guitar-themed monster.
Well, there's that as well. Loosely guitar-themed.
Oh, very loosely.
Cicadas, you know how they like guitars.
Cicadas love guitars, mate. That's why they call them guitardas. Speaking of, if it's a cicada guitar monster, why is it called Guitardo?
I was thinking that as I was
Guitarda.
Because
would that not make more sense?
Guitarda is the feminine version of the monster, and Guitardo is the male version.
Yeah, but this could have been a lady monster.
Don't you know Spanish?
I mean, no,
I don't think it could be.
Think that's... You don't think it could be?
No, monsters can't be... No, women can't be monsters, Michael. That's ridiculous.
We've had women monsters.
We have, yeah. Actually,
Madame Woe. Madame Woe is explicitly a woman.
Yeah, when you said women monsters, I immediately thought of Madame Woe. And, she is one of the better monsters.
Scorpina,
I don't know.
Scorpina's definitely a monster.
Is she?
I mean, she transforms into a giant, horrible thingo.
That's true. I don't really think of her as a monster, though, because she's more of like the evil supporting cast, I guess, to me.
Okay, sure.
Anyway, back at the youth centre.
All right, yes. So there's a picnic in the park tomorrow.
Yep.
She's writing a song for Tommy.
That's right.
And she wants Zach's help with the lyrics because she knows how good he is with words.
Which is not something I believe we've established on the show.
Not particularly, no.
But apparently he's going to sprinkle some of his magic on it.
Yeah, I'll do what he can.
Which is one of those phrases that non-creative people use at creative people, not the other way around.
Yes, certainly.
I know at work we get a lot of, can you just sprinkle some of your magic on it? Which means
you don't really have a brief for 6 hours and then just like make it look good somehow.
Yeah, it means we don't have a brief for you, so brief yourself and make it good.
Yeah, but like good how we want it, not just generally good.
That's right.
Yeah.
How it is in our minds, but we can't express it.
Exactly. So Amy Jo Johnson actually did write this song herself.
Sorry,
which is kind of nice. Amy Jo Johnson wrote this song herself.
Oh, that's nice.
Which is kind of nice.
That is nice.
It feels like possibly them exploiting her for cheap labour.
Yeah, I imagine they didn't pay her for it.
No. God forbid this show pay anyone for anything. But, it's all right.
Yeah. So on the moon,
yep.
Lord Zed sees Kimberly playing a guitar and is instantly inspired by this. Gives him a good idea, as of course it does.
He says, the Pink Ranger likes to write songs on her guitar, does she? Well, it will serve as the perfect instrument for her demise.
I like the idea that every Lord Zed opening scene from now on is going to start with the word so.
Yep. So, the something ranger likes to something, do they? Well, I'm going to make a monster out of that thing and use it to destroy them.
Hang on, Mike, I'm losing you again. I'm just going to move into the other room. And I'll see if maybe the Wi-Fi is better in there or something. Just got to remember to cut this out of the episode.
Yeah, that's fine.
Alright, I'm much closer to the modem now. Let's have another go.
Okay.
Where were we?
So, Goldar's got an objection.
Yes.
The guitar is made of wood. It's not alive. You can't make a monster out of it.
But we're seeing quite a few, inanimate objects made into monsters.
He's made a monster out of a flyer.
Yep.
He's made a monster out of a monkey costume.
Yep. But I guess those...
neither of which I hope were alive.
But those both had animal elements to them. Like, the flyer was like a creature on a flyer, and the suit was like a monkey suit. So I guess...
Yeah, but the objection he makes isn't it's not shaped like an animal. It's wood, not alive.
Yeah.
And if you think that is terrible and makes no sense, wait till you hear what Lord Zed says in rebuttal. Where there's wood, there are insects. Obviously.
Not technically true,
insects
always,
insects like cicadas. And so he will make a cicada monster.
I mean, like, once again, quite like a reader, I guess he's kind of a, like a free-thinking associative planner. It's not really a...
Yep, I can imagine he's got lots of large, word clouds and mind maps and...
Exactly. He doesn't see a
big
problem
bits of paper
and
with
then
nonsense written down on them.
He doesn't try and engineer a solution to that problem. He has a problem, and his solution to it is just come up with the first thing that comes to mind and then sort of extrapolate that out and hope for the best, I guess. Which is...
Hasn't worked out for him so far.
No, but it's entertaining, so I guess we can't fault him.
I mean, I think we can, but anyway.
We can and we do, yeah.
Okay, Matt, remind me, what's the new kid called? Is his name Richie?
I think it is Richie.
Why do I think his name is Richie?
No, I think that's right. I was thinking Ricardo,
Okay.
but I think I was thinking of Guitardo there, so Richie sounds right. So they're at the park.
No, yes, it's Richie.
It is Richie, great. So they're at the park,
Yeah, okay.
chilling out, and Richie rides past on his bicycle, in a very alluring fashion, I think, at least to Trini, because she visibly lights up. And he stops there to see the Rangers while they're having their picnic, takes off his helmet, and flips it about 8 times, because he's a cool guy when he flips his helmet that much.
Well, he just needs some business to do with his hands.
And so the Rangers sort of invite Richie to hang out with them, and he basically says, "No, I can't. I'm too busy," and then rides off again. And I just love the complete lack of subtlety in these scenes where, they're clearly just trying to have him pop up every episode so that when the White Ranger comes around, he's a viable suspect. But he's never organically in the plot. He literally just stops by into every situation. It's not like...
Yeah, no, I mean, this week and last week, he basically just walks past. Trini says, "Hey, sit down, let's, chat and maybe, fall in love." And then he goes, "No, I got somewhere else to be, but maybe later," and then walks off, and he's not in the episode again.
Yeah. It's just almost charmingly false in how it's played. It's so obviously, you could cut that bit out of the episode and it'd make no difference to it.
No change. No difference whatsoever.
Yeah.
Okay, and as if that bit wasn't rough enough, what comes next is possibly the worst Bulk and Skull bit I think I've ever seen.
What? I love this. What are you even talking
terrible.
about? No.
This was terrible.
No, well, we talked before about how the guy who plays Skull is actually quite a good actor and should get more of an opportunity to play outside of that limited range. So...
I don't think dressing him up as a princess is what I had in mind.
Look, I think it's perfect, Michael. We don't... Before...
Okay.
The first thing we see of Bulk and Skull in this episode is Skull emerging from a bush. He just pops into frame, like at the start of that most recent Star Wars trailer, dressed as, the prototypical medieval princess, complete with the pink cone on his head and a blonde wig. Yep.
I think it's a hat. I don't think it's a cone.
Well, it's a cone-shaped hat. I'm not saying it holds ice cream. Just to be clear.
I mean, it might. This is Bulk and Skull.
It would be a lot of ice cream.
That's not entirely out of the question.
Yeah.
Yeah, convenient.
So he pops up and is screaming about being attacked, and then Bulk pops up dressed in what looks like the world's cheapest Godzilla costume, complete with a visor that goes over his face with the eyes painted on it. It's pretty fantastic.
It's basically just like he found a bike helmet on the side of the road and just painted it green and put some fake eyes on it.
Yeah, I love it.
He's got a tail that just comes out. It's terrible.
It's interesting because...
I mean, look, I think you can agree that it's terrible.
It's a terrible costume. And it's interesting, too, because Skull's costume, while obviously not accurately representing the period he's going for, is a proper costume. Like it's something that you go to the
Yes.
costume shop and pay for, as opposed to Bulk's, like put together garbage heap that it is. And it just makes
Yes.
like a fascinating contrast for me. But to me, this is a better execution of the idea of they're trying to discover who the Power Rangers are, because they're trying to create a situation that will lure the Power Rangers, which I think is a better idea than we've got a
Sure.
machine that will smell everyone and will smell the Power Rangers out. Like,
Matt, that's clearly a brilliant idea. I don't know what you're on about.
so yeah, I think this episode with Bulk and Skull, we got like a legitimate plan on their part, a chance for
Yep.
them to do some very broad, fun comedy, and it felt.
I mean, I think you're using the word fun loosely there, but okay.
Look, I had fun with it, and like, it felt legitimate within the context of the episode. So I think it's much better than we've had for Bulk and Skull for quite a while. You don't agree?
Okay. I don't agree, but let's just move on.
All right. So
It was terrible.
they're panicking to try and you're fake panicking to try and draw the Rangers. Skull is screaming.
Yep.
Bulk is chasing him around, and it does actually attract the attention of the Power Rangers, but not.
Yeah, they do succeed.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't know they succeed.
That's another thing. One of the things I love about this Bulk and Skull B story. So yeah, they succeed because the Rangers unmorphed at their picnic do hear the screaming and run up to see what's going on. But of course, when they see the teens, they don't recognise them as the Power Rangers and get quite disappointed.
It's very frequently the Bulk and Skull's plan nearly works.
Yes, but I think
They've come very close a number of times.
And again, I think this way, this particular instance actually felt close. It wasn't sort
Sure.
of ginned up. Oh, that it will make it seem close, but they were never ever going to be close. Like they've clearly fucked
Yep.
it up. Whereas here, they very nearly succeed. Like if the Power Rangers had have just morphed before they went over to see what was wrong, which is certainly possible, they would have achieved their goal.
Yes, job done.
Yeah. Instead, the teens go over unmorphed and give them a lecture about crying wolf. Now, this
In which they have to explain the concept of crying.
I was
wolf.
about to say, this isn't one of those shows where they sort of play on that concept and teach that lesson, but don't overtly explain it. They actually lay it all out.
Oh no!
and
they-
explain
like,
what crying
they
wolf
get
is.
the definition from the book. Yep.
Yeah.
And if you're expecting that to be relevant in any way at the end of the episode, good luck with that.
Well, it comes back. It's tied up.
It doesn't come back. Oh, very, very vaguely.
Okay, so they tell Bulk and Skull off, and Bulk and Skull leave. But in this commotion,
Yep.
it's given Lord Zed the chance to get at Kimberly's guitar because it was sort of unprotected.
Left alone.
That's right. And he turns that plus the cicada that is on Bulk's shoulder in the next scene into Guitardo.
Yep.
Now, Michael, do you want to describe Guitardo?
Guitardo looks not a lot like a cicada.
No.
Holding an electric guitar.
Yeah.
This show, it's just...
With the name
What were
Guitardo,
they-
I did expect, like, if it was going to be cicada, to be a half guitar, half cicada monster.
Yeah, I was expecting, like, guitar-ness in it, certainly.
But no. It's just
No.
a giant insect holding a guitar.
I would also have been open to him being, like, racistly Spanish or Mexican,
Yep.
but no.
And I think what...
Thank God for that,
and
but anyway.
What annoyed me most about this by the end of the episode was that he could have been anything besides an insect, and it wouldn't have affected any small detail about the plot.
Not particularly,
He
no.
could have been a tiger, and it would have done exactly the same thing. Like, he didn't fly. There's no insect-relatedness going on at all.
I mean, cicadas do make noise.
Yeah.
No, that's all I got.
And
This is-
again,
yeah, no.
he doesn't... I feel like that was the Americans trying to make some slim association there. Like, I don't think the Japanese
Yeah.
designed him as a cicada.
I mean, yeah, there's no real way of knowing, but it certainly doesn't feel that way.
Yeah, anyway, so that happens. And where are we at after that? Do they have their first fight with the... Oh, no.
Okay, so here's the deal.
Yep.
Zordon detects that Guitardo has been summoned.
Yeah, and he does that.
And- you know,
by noticing a fluctuation, I think it is, in the morphing grid. Now, this is interesting
Yeah.
because you were saying to me just the other week that you don't think the term morphing grid has been mentioned yet. So it's
yeah, I'm not sure. It certainly hasn't come up a lot.
well, so it was certainly mentioned in this episode, and the way it was talked about so offhandedly, it makes me
Yeah.
suspect it was used before and we've just missed it.
I mean, given that last week or 2 weeks ago we had a magical sword that everyone just suddenly knew about, it wouldn't be out of the context of this show to just come up for the first time.
Okay, that's a valid point. All right, so they're at the command center. They're talking to Zordon about this monster, and he reveals that he creates music, and that music can take over your mind. Now, not
Yeah.
in the same way, like, not the mind control that we've been seeing for the past few weeks, where you...
I'd like to say, sorry, this is like the third mind control plot in a row.
Yeah, it really is.
Someone definitely has a fetish, right?
I think it's a problem. But it's definitely a whole different sort of mind control, to the extent that I'm pretty sure in the Japanese footage, like, they weren't intending it to be mind control.
Oh, this is definitely not... I mean, look, here's what happens. It makes them float, and it makes them heavy.
Yeah. He has, like, music telekinesis, basically.
He has, like, gravity control powers,
Yeah.
right? That's what he has. He does not... It's just... Why call it mind control when no one's mind gets controlled in any way?
Yeah. It's
Like...
it's puzzling. I think it's because they were clearly not giving kids enough credit with their imagination. You know, I think they're like, oh, kids know what mind control is, so we'll just say it's mind control.
Yeah, but that's even worse, because kids know what mind control is, and they surely can tell that this isn't mind control.
Yeah, I agree. I'm with you 100%. I think it's a poor choice.
Anyway.
So they're going to send the Rangers to fight the monster, but Alpha does a scan on Tommy and informs him that he's got only a fraction of his power left, and that any fight could be his last. It's probably too dangerous to send him in right now. So he's going to step to the side and let the other Rangers go it alone for now. And they they do that. They morph and they go fight Guitardo. Now, Michael, do you want to tell us how this goes down?
It's just... Look, here's the thing, right? It does some music,
Yep.
and the music hits 4 of the Power Rangers,
Starting with
everyone
Zack.
except Kimberly,
Yep.
and it makes them just float up into the air.
Yep.
It's a very good effect. They do actually look like they're floating in the air.
It is pretty cool, actually, yeah. And it's not like they're frozen in
just-
the air. They're actually dangling,
No,
ineffectually.
they're dangling and moving around.
Yep.
It's just... I don't know, they said mind control. I was kind of expecting mind control.
Okay, so basically you're just cheesed off that you didn't get what was advertised.
Well, what annoys me is they looked at it, they went, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to call it mind control, but, like, not going to get mind control. Why do that? It doesn't make sense.
Look, I'm with you on that front.
It's nonsense, and I hate this show. I hate this show, Matt.
I understand your frustration, but I also think that, aside from what they call it, it's a cool power set, it has a cool visual representation, and it's something we haven't seen before on the show. So I'm appreciative for that.
I guess. Okay. So
I feel like
he
our
makes
roles have
4 of
reversed
them
today.
float. Everyone...
Like,
Yeah, something about this one was just...
yeah, it really took it out. Like,
I don't know.
I had a good time. You clearly did not have a good time with this episode.
I did not.
All right.
Alright, so, look, he's got everyone except Kimberly
Yep.
mind controlled. Zordon's worried about that.
Yep.
To the point that he literally says, my worst fears have been realised.
He does too.
Again. I don't... so, look, he's going to send Tommy in.
Yes,
Tommy's powers are very weak.
that's correct.
They're not totally gone, but they could fail at any time.
Literally any second. The clock is ticking.
Yep. He can't be re-energized the same way he was re-energized before.
I like
So,
that they
this is
acknowledge
it.
that, but they also didn't provide an explanation of why. They're like, oh no, we can't do that
No,
again.
Alpha just says that's no longer an option.
Yep.
Okay, well, I mean... Sure, fine, whatever. So Tommy teleports down and basically goes to Kim, like, Kim, don't worry, whatever, I'll take care of him. At which point he runs and starts to fight Guitardo alone.
Yep.
His powers are incredibly weak.
Yep.
He knows that Guitardo is strong enough to take care of 4 of the Power Rangers without even really trying.
Yep.
He just tells Kimberly to stand back and don't worry, he's got it.
Yeah, he's Tommy, Michael. I don't think you probably understand
but he's
his
Tommy,
deal.
His powers are explicitly and textually going to fail him at any point.
Yeah, Michael, his powers are fading. His ego is not fading.
That's probably true.
He's a train powered by ego, and that's what drives him to win this fight.
Woo-hoo.
That's right. That's the ego train coming in to the station.
Yep. So look, he fights Guitardo for a bit. Guitardo basically just teleports away.
Yep.
That's it. The only way for the other Rangers to be freed of Guitardo's mind control, we learn, is for Guitardo to be destroyed.
Yep. Makes sense.
Yep.
Story checks out.
Yeah, I mean, it makes as much sense as anything else in this show, certainly.
Yep. Now, before he leaves, he leaves us with a poem, I guess. It's not
guess?
not set to music, but it does rhyme, and it informs them of where he's going to next. Now,
he's the Riddler of Power Rangers monsters.
That's right. I'm not exactly sure why he's leaving. Like, the place he goes to doesn't seem to offer him any advantage over where he is currently.
It's just another place.
So they just go to another place to fight, which is fine.
Yep.
I like new places as much as anyone. I travel a lot. I'm very fond of it. I like to expand my horizons.
I don't. But anyway, let's move on.
So they're at...
This episode is terrible and I hate it.
Yeah, I'm getting that vibe from you. They go to the fair.
Yep.
Is that right? It's a fair?
Yep. It's a fair, yes.
Yeah. Which basically amounts to an auditorium. I'm fairly certain it looks a lot like the one we saw very early in the show. And I think they fought the Sphinx there. I'm not sure.
Oh, man, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, very, very early in the show. But anyway, another auditorium.
Could have been.
Guitardo walks out from behind some curtains, strumming his guitar, and puts the moves on Tommy. But he's resisting because he's concentrating really, really hard.
Which everyone knows is how you resist mind control.
That's right. Especially
that changes gravity.
The floating mind control. It'll get you. So he's able to fight the monster for a little bit. But eventually it's too much and he starts to lose control of his limb.
At which point he begins to sink into the ground.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. But
it's clearly gravity control.
He, for whatever reason, decides to play his flute a little bit, and that works for a moment.
I think he's trying to summon the Dragon Zord, maybe?
Well, that would make sense, yeah. But he didn't do his Dragon Zord call, which is traditional.
No, he does the other one.
I guess it was an emergency.
Yeah, he just wants the Dragon Zord to shoot the missiles.
Which is a clear violation of the rules, but that's fine.
No, that would be in defense, technically.
But I think I'm not talking about escalating the fight, which is why...
Oh, I mean, yeah, no, fair enough.
Yeah, which is why the Megazord doesn't just step on all the little monsters. Anyway...
Yeah, that's dumb, but anyway.
A little bit of music comes out of the flute and hits the monster, and he realizes, I can use my music to fight his music. Which is really...
Of course, everyone knows that's how music works.
It was really interesting to me, because I took it as the monster has special powers, and the music he creates is magical. But it just kind of seems like in this universe, music is just magical.
That's certainly... I mean, this music played by the flute... played by the Dragon Dagger... explicitly does allow him to summon a giant robot Godzilla from below the sea.
That's true.
So
I guess
it's at least got some sort of special abilities.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of backed up, isn't it? That's really interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so he does succeed in hurting the monster a little bit, but he's eventually overwhelmed by the monster, who makes him sink further and further into the ground, and he can't quite lift his flute up to defend himself, which is not a phrase.
A real worry.
Not a phrase I never thought I'd say, but.
No, but this show does bad things.
That's right. But it's Kimberly to the rescue, because she's shown up
Yep.
with her bow, which she has transformed
Finally.
into a harp. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah. I mean, technically, plucking the string of a bow would make a sound, I guess.
Yeah, there's definitely questions to be asked about what constitutes music and what has powers and what doesn't.
Yeah, because they can't speak
Yeah.
and just, yeah.
Anyway, she has her bow harp and uses that to fire some music energy at the monster, which again I quite enjoyed. And that's enough to sort of free Tommy, and together they're able to fight the monster a bit until the Power Rangers theme starts to kick in, so you know that this is the end of the fight.
Yeah. So, you know, yeah.
And
Yeah, they hear that and they go, "Oh, okay, we've got to wrap it up now."
time to close the scene out. So, and I think this is really cool. Tommy hands the dragon dagger to Kim, who loads it into her bow. It turns into energy, and she fires it at the monster to defeat it. It just blows up.
Yep, that's it.
No Megazord fight this week.
So not even the Power Blaster.
Nope.
I think it's the lowest key monster defeat we've had in 70 episodes.
Look, to me, that combination of weapons is just as prestigious, I guess, as the Power Blaster. I'm not sure what the correct term is.
I mean, sure, but like, it's not anything they've ever even like discussed before.
Yeah.
It's just a whole new thing that they just go, we'll do it. It doesn't get like its own cutscene or its own like sequence or anything.
Yeah.
They just kind of do it and it goes, boo! And then it explodes.
Yeah, but look, I'm all down for new ways of defeating monsters. Like, I do not need to see the Power
Sure.
Blaster literally every week. So, I was very on board for this. And it makes a lot of sense. Like, they're both, like, musical-themed weapons.
I mean,
now.
does it?
Yeah, they're using the combined music
Apparently.
powers of the weapons. It's science, Michael.
Sure.
It's a music science.
I don't think it's music or science, but anyway.
Alright, so that is the end of Guitardo. He's out. No,
Yep.
doesn't get to turn.
Poor Guitardo.
Yeah, not a very ceremonious exit for Paul Guitardo.
No.
All right, back at...
Can I just say,
Yep.
in that scene, in the fight, there's actually one really nice bit where Tommy drops his dagger and we immediately cut to Lord Zed on the moon celebrating.
Yeah, it's a cool bit.
And it's just a really nice construction of that to make you go, oh shit, he's like pretty happy.
That's bad.
It makes the fight feel worse, even though nothing's actually changed.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Because we never really get Lord Zed's perspective on fights as they're occurring. Or the same was true of Rita as well,
No.
really. It was, he puts a plan in action, and then we see him once he's failed, basically. So, yeah, it's good to see some sort of moonside commentary from Mr. Zed. I was down for it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mr. Zed, is that what we're going with?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't want to be rude, Michael.
Well, I mean, he's a lord, so you're downgrading him by calling him Mr.
I guess that's true. I apologise. I was disrespectful.
Yeah, sorry, Mr. Zed. Mr. Zed makes him sound like someone's dad on Happy Days.
Happy days.
Hey, Mr. Zed.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's... Yeah.
When you do it in Ernie's accent, I buy it.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so they're having a picnic at the youth centre now.
Yep, because there's a storm
because
outside.
it's raining outside.
Yep.
What's Ernie's position on outside food, do you reckon?
I'm pretty sure for the Power Rangers, they can bring whatever food they want, Michael.
I'm just worried that he doesn't seem to be making very sensible business decisions.
Yeah, well, that is true across the board of everything Ernie puts his mind to. Like, every aspect of his business is ridiculous because he's too nice.
I think someone should just, I'm not saying he should stop being nice, but, maybe if he'd ask them to buy a drink or something,
That would not be nice.
some sort of surcharge.
Then they turn around and be like, well, maybe you could serve the world next time, Ernie. We'll pay for a drink and
Well, but then
you crush the next monster.
They couldn't do that. They couldn't do that because that would be revealing who they are.
Ernie knows. We've talked about this. Ernie knows.
Yeah, sure, but he couldn't reveal that he knows because they couldn't reveal that they know that he knows.
This is way too complicated.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Think about that.
All right, so Kimberly is going to play her song for Tommy now because he's super down about not the fact that he's going to not be a Power Ranger anymore quite soon.
He's had like 4 reminders in a row that his power is running out very quickly.
Yeah. So the episode usually ends in a very somber, like, oh, time's running out for Tommy. But this is actually a bit of a sweet, almost melancholy sort of note as Tim plays a song for him about the fact that they're never going to abandon him and they'll always be friends and they'll always be a team.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird, isn't it? Because they constantly, like, Tommy's basically like, oh man, I'm going to miss hanging out with you guys and all that. He doesn't just have to hang out with them because he's a Power Ranger.
I guess the evidence to the contrary is the fact that last time he lost his powers, they didn't see him again until he got powers back. Like, he was pretty...
That is true, I suppose.
Pretty well ostracized from the group, so... Yeah. And I think that's...
I wonder if they did that or if he did that.
That's a good question. But I think that's probably why the song doesn't quite carry as much weight as, you'd hope, is because... They did abandon him last time, so...
He certainly was no longer a member of their group.
That's right, yeah.
We saw him, once, in between him losing powers and him getting his powers back.
Very, very fleetingly. So, yeah, that's it. And Tommy is, like, dumbstruck by that beautiful moment and has no words.
Yep.
And
I should say, Amy Jo Johnson and Walter Jones do a bit of harmonising.
Yeah,
it's a little nice.
It is nice.
It's not touching. I wouldn't go that far, but it's nice.
It's pretty touching. Michael's wrong on this
It's
one.
not touching.
So that's hashtag yes touching or hashtag no touching.
No, that's not what we're going with.
It's too late. It's happened. I'm hashtag yes touching.
All right. Well, we're on a watch list now,
I was just thinking, like, of our life philosophies, I am yes touching and you're no touching. Like, that is a very clear summation of who we are as people. Like,
Yep, that's probably fair.
I love hugs. You hate hugs,
I don't hate hugs. I kind of hate hugs.
You do hate hugs.
That's fair.
I love hugs.
I think hate's a strong word.
But it's accurate in this case.
Sure, but it's strong, I just...
Yeah, it's strong, and that's why I'm using it.
Okay, sure.
Oh, we forgot the Balkan Skull bit.
Oh, did we?
Yeah. We can't forget it, Michael.
Yeah, forgot.
It's important.
Yes, we can.
So, Balkan Skull turn up. They're still in their costumes. They're scared by the monster, so they're in a bit of disarray. And they need help getting Bulk's helmet off. Billy kindly obliges and says he needs to turn the helmet counterclockwise, which basically just means he needs to do a silly dance around the Bulk. And
apparently, yes.
Yep. And then the helmet comes off. And that's it. Oh, and they promise never to cry wolf again, but they have their fingers crossed behind their back. Now,
which is just, it's nothing. It's a nothing scene.
Yeah. I mean, this is definitely the low side of the Balkan Skull B story this week, which otherwise was stellar.
I mean, I don't agree, but okay.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. That was the Song of Guitardo.
Yep.
So you did not...
And what a shitty song it was.
Look, I think as basically the last proper Green Ranger episode before he loses his powers, it was a pretty good swan song. Did you not think so?
I mean...
he got to be the main character.
Kind of.
He got to team up with Kim, his love interest. They got to do like a combined attack to finish off the monster. Like, it was pretty cool, I thought.
Okay, I think we're going to have to agree to disagree on this one.
Okay, well, we've got one more chance to see the Green Ranger, presumably. What would you like to see happen to send him off?
I think if he's going to lose his powers, which he is, I think he has to lose them doing something, like, cool.
Okay.
Like, he can't just sacrifice his powers for, like, a regular monster. It's got to be dire, and he has to go into battle, like, on his own, knowing that he's going to lose his powers.
What's not a regular monster?
Something, I don't know, Goldar, maybe?
No.
Someone better than Goldar.
Yeah, it has to be better than Goldar. But then, what's your options then? Like, all it can be is, like, a monster we'd never seen before that Zed just talks up a whole lot. But he does that for all monsters anyway.
It could be Scorpina we haven't seen in a while.
Yeah, maybe. I think the issue is that we haven't had a decent sort of, like, second level monster built up throughout the
Yes.
series. You know,
Sure.
if there was a recurring villain that was clearly very dangerous and they're never quite able to overcome.
Is it too much to ask that they bring back Pumpkin Rapper?
It's definitely too much to ask. That's not going to happen.
This show's #1 music-themed monster.
Do you think that going up against Pumpkin Rapper would be like a fitting way to send off the Green Ranger?
Frankly, I would like nothing more than if the last monster on the Power Rangers show as a whole was Pumpkin Rapper.
Okay.
Show gets cancelled. The last monster of the last season finale is the return of Pumpkin Rapper. That's what I want.
It's 5 different coloured Pumpkin Rappers going up against one Power Ranger.
Yep, done. Bingo.
Sold. Yeah.
Now all we have to do is write a letter.
Yeah. All right. So that's it, basically.
Yeah, more or less. Monster creature feature.
Yeah. All right. Well, as I'm not with you currently, I'm actually quite a ways
Yes.
away. I can't look at the list, so you'll have to talk me through it.
That's fine. I can do that.
I don't think that I'm torn here because as an insect monster, absolute
Yep.
worst, bottom of the list. But he did have powers that, despite being poorly named, were very interesting.
Looked cool.
Yep.
Were different.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
So my gut instinct is top half of the list somewhere.
Sure. Well, at number 24 is Mantis.
Yep.
One of our other insect-themed monsters who was kind of kung fu-y.
Yep.
Do you think he's better than Mantis?
It's so hard. I think he's better and worse. Like Mantis was a much better insect monster,
Yes.
but he didn't have music telekinesis.
No, that's true.
And I think the fact that we had that cool, unique finish to the fight, that to me sort of boosts Guitardo in my esteem. I don't know about you.
Sure.
Yeah, so maybe a bit higher than Mantis.
Okay, who have we got around there? We put the Invincible Flytrap at number 21 last week.
Yep.
Is the Invincible Flytrap better?
No, what? I don't think he's better than the Invincible Flytrap. I think
No,
because
I agree with you.
the Invincible Flytrap had that cohesive design and cohesive powers. It all sort of came together in that package.
Yep.
Whereas,
Okay.
as good as Guitardo was, he wasn't consistent in that way.
No, I'd agree with you there.
There we go.
Okay, so who is near that? Let's see. After Invincible Flytrap, we've got Madame Woe, and then Babe Ruthless, and then Primator.
What was Primator again?
Reflectorilla.
Oh, okay. I would say above Primator.
Okay,
Not
but
a-
below Babe Ruthless.
Yeah, definitely not above Babe Ruthless. Like, come on. Let's be serious about
No,
this.
Babe Ruthless is too good a joke, frankly.
Yeah. And plus,
All right,
again,
so
like more consistently powered. Like he had baseball powers, that was his deal, he went with it. So,
All right, so that puts him in at number 24.
pretty good. See, I think we're trending up for monsters this season.
Certainly after a couple of weeks ago when we had just nothing good.
Yeah, we're filling out the bottom of the list there for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
So we'll be back next week with Green No More Part 1.
That's all right. We'll all be...
I have to assume that,
Sorry?
you know, that's probably it for the Green Ranger, I think would be a fair guess.
You'd think so, yeah. We'll all be together around a microphone for that one next time. So
Yes, it'll be us and Tim, who was actually born on the day that it aired.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy, isn't it?
So Tim's going to be watching an episode that is to the day as old as he is,
Wow. That's crazy.
which is kind of messed up when you think about it.
It really is. So yeah, we'll be doing that. Thank you for sticking with us through our first Skype test episode. Hopefully it comes together all right.
Yeah,
and was
hopefully,
all good for you.
yeah.
Yeah, and we'll be back next week with the first part of Greed No More. So you can listen along with us and find out how the demise of the Green Ranger occurs.
Also, probably Dino Charge around now. As at the point where we're recording this, we're still not sure when it's going to start.
Yep.
But
As soon as it starts,
I
we'll
will
be
tack
all
a
over it.
little- If it's like now, I'll tack a little bit onto the end of this episode to let you know.
Yep.
So,
But you
know.
check your feeds. You'll know.
Maybe now.
You'll see it when it comes up.
Oh yeah, there'll be a new episode.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Thank you very much for listening, and we will see you
See you
all
guys
next week. Yep.
Yeah. 3, 2, 1.
Go again.
3, 2, 1. Nope. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Close enough.